Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Oh, I'm so glad we waited until after I burped. That's awesome. Okay, great.
You know what? I heard it, so that's
oh my god, Cody. That's
what do
so...
Wait.
What about trust? God.
You said it!
I mean, you're right, but like, so... Just saying, I didn't need, like, the whole universe to blast me.
Listen, every conversation we have is on the record, always, forever. Always.
I mean, that's true. That's true. I should have known going into it. What if you've been Tom this whole time?
I
love that was your response.
MySpace.
And not just like a yes or no.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I need it. I think that was enough.
That's why we're never gonna meet? Is that why? It's just...
I rip off my skin and it's Tom.
It's just an actual suit. Like, underneath your fancy suit that you wear all the time, it's just like an actual blue-collar suit.
This took a turn so quickly. I would say, arguably, the quickest we've ever took a turn.
Listen.
I'm listening. What's up?
It's snowing. I don't really know where I am anymore.
Welcome to winter. I'm glad you finally got there.
Yeah, I mean, hi, welcome to Into the Twilight. It's still winter? I don't know.
Never ending
what's happening.
Hellscape.
January took like 18 years to get through. Now it's like almost the end of February, and it's still snowing. Like, I don't know where I am anymore, is what I'm trying to say. So, hi, Cody. How are you doing?
You know, I'm fine.
Oh, all right. Well, do you want to talk about it? Want to talk about how the presidents are affecting your week so far?
The what?
The presidents. It's President's Day. Happy President's Day.
Yeah, but they have nothing to do with anything. I mean, they're fine. They're living their life, I guess.
Well, most of them are dead.
Yeah, I would say almost all of them at this point.
You know, God bless, you know.
I mean, I guess.
I mean, you know, God bless America or whatever, but also God bless. I need to be careful sometimes. I'm a public servant of the government. I need to shut my mouth.
You're under arrest. This is the police.
Stop.
Say goodbye to your pension, baby.
Oh,
How dare you talk smack on the government?
What I would give
good
to
old
have
presents.
What I would give to have a fucking pension. God. Hey, let's talk about retirement funds. I have a lot of feelings.
Man, I could talk about Illinois' fucked up pensions forever.
Hi, we're millennials. We have a lot of feelings about retirement funds. Welcome to Into the Pension. So, you want to know something that's fucked up?
Yeah, what's up?
Let me just tell you about my day, since you didn't ask. I love our relationship.
I just got so caught up in pensions, you know?
Honestly, sometimes it sends me in a spiral, too. So, I was compared this weekend to Navi.
Okay.
And I am having a crisis about it.
Does that really seem out of character for you?
No, it's just that I have a propensity for just saying, hey, listen to people when people aren't listening to me and and aren't giving me enough hey. And so at one point, I had someone who I adore turn around to me. It was earlier this morning. It's fine. Be like, so you do know that Navi says that, right? And I was like, yes. What are you trying to say? I also float and am blue. What are you trying to say?
Allie, this whole time, this is a fun fact about Allie. She's never posted a photo of herself on the internet ever in her life, so you don't know what she looks like. And so it turns out she actually is a very tiny, just blue dot floating around. And that's how she lives her life.
There's a reason why I haven't posted my legs on Instagram and or I have a very cool toned theme on Instagram. You know what I mean?
Hey.
I'm just saying.
The truth is out there, all right?
The truth is out there, and I know how to work Facetune, so get wrecked. I'm just saying. Listen to me.
Hey, everyone, listen. Maybe if people started listening to me, I wouldn't have to sound like Navi all goddamn time. That's what I'm trying to say.
All I want now is like a clip of like a supercut of me just being like, hey, listen. Like it's just that, so I can just send it to people. And that's all I want. We have some current events that I really need to talk to you about. Because there's some important shit happening. First of all,
I mean, not like important, but like,
first of all,
related to our podcast.
The Olympics are incredibly important after us discussing the idea of having an Olympics podcast together. And I actually get to bring it up again this week because it's relevant to our content. So, great. First of all, I've been watching a lot of the Olympics because, it's important to me. And so this week, a very important thing happened in Pyeongchang, which is that one of the figure skaters from China, during his single short program, decided to compete with Christina Perri's 1,000 Years in the background.
Very good.
And this is so important to me because this is literally two of my favorite things in the whole world is ice skating and Twilight together. And I just thank you, Yeonhan. Thank you, God. Thank you, America. Thank you to the universe and the Olympics for making this happen for me because, wow, this is beautiful and amazing. Yeah. There's been so many good music choices.
Well, now that they can do freaking lyrics, everything's a bop, you know?
Yeah.
You know, sick, this is my favorite instrumental track. Yes, let's go.
That's true. There's been some wild music choices so far this year.
For sure.
There was one that a Russian couple did. They did one to Christina Aguilera, and I was like, dude, hey, listen, this would have been great except for the fact that, y'all did horrible to this. It was so wild. And then another one, there was been a lot of Moulin Rouge happening. There's been a lot of Adele. The Canadians fucking love Adele.
Apparently.
So it's been great. There's been a lot of good stuff happening there.
I love that.
There was definitely one that did some pop punk emo band or whatever.
In the year of our Lord.
Yeah, it's been a great time. So I'm thankful for that.
Hey, you think for the final Warped Tour that's happening this year, they're gonna have people ice skating? Just they're gonna set up a cool little ice skating rink?
Yes, I hope so. That would be amazing. I went ice skating this weekend, and there were so many people that were like, I can do this because I saw it on the Olympics, and then just falling fat on their ass. Just immediately touch the ice and then just flat, boom, touch the ice, and we're down on the ground. So It was embarrassing, but also very funny for me. Could you tell me about this Daily Mail piece that we saw?
Man, I wish I could, but it is covered in advertisements.
It's so bad,
I wish I could see the words on this page, but there are fucking 7,000 ads. And I get it. This is the state of digital journalism right now, and I get it. However, my God, there's so many GIFs, there's so many videos, there's so many things yelling at me to buy the products, and I don't want it.
It looks like my old MySpace page.
It does look like a MySpace
with the amount of pop-ups happening here.
Anyway, this Daily Mail article is about our dynamic duo, K-Stu and Robert Pattinson, apparently fucking shooting the shit at a bar together, just hanging out.
I have so many questions about this.
Sure.
Mainly because of the fact that, multiple people saw them together, right? And I love it. After all of these rumors about K-Stu and Robert, working in a movie together, but oh no, they hate each other and all this stuff. I love the idea that they're able to just chill.
Yeah.
But I don't like the idea that the fandom is coming back together being ignoring K-Stu's sexuality and stuff, being I knew she was always meant to get back together with Robert. This was all just a phase. It was hey, shut up. This is not, hey, no. But I do like the idea that it was super chill and that they were just hanging out, just two pals being dudes. I don't know.
Pals being dudes, as you say, as the famous saying goes.
Yeah, I think that's actually exactly how it goes.
I think that is the quote. I said it, so.
But I'm curious how this is going to, maybe they never follow up, this is just a one-time thing, or maybe they do end up hanging out more as friends, but it was cool and nice to see that they are having some sort of public appearance, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
So this last piece that we've got is from Bustle. And it's titled, "I'm Grateful I Read Twilight as a Teenage Girl, and Here's Why." And Charlotte Allen wrote this piece about a week ago. And it starts off with, "Yes, it is 2018, and I'm going to kind of defend Twilight." So, I mean, buckle in, folks. It's basically our whole podcast in a nutshell from that part. Except for that we don't really defend Twilight so much anymore. It's just like throw it under a bus, which is perfect and great. It kind of goes off on a way that that video, that like 35,000 minute video.
That manifesto.
Yes. I'm glad that it exists and it's adding more content and people are able to critique the media that they enjoyed,
right,
and still enjoy, just because I think that is valuable. There's also there's a couple of parts in here that I think are pretty choice. There's one where Charlotte says, quote, "And yes, it's also pushing Mormon values and the vampire sparkle." I didn't say it made perfect sense. So that should be the headline of our show, honestly. But there's talk about Ted Mosby. There's talk about Han Solo in here. It does kind of end in a way that I think is nice, though, with Charlotte saying, like, "I only hope that the next generation's Twilight does better," which I think is fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that since vampires have been such a huge thing in our culture,
right,
I can only imagine that the next generation that's coming up and writing will want to take that and move forward in a better way.
Yeah. There's this one graph that I really liked. She was talking about how, like, yeah, Bella wasn't like a strong, quote unquote strong female lead or whatever. But it's like, she's like, I had other characters for that. Like, I wasn't really looking for that in Bella Swan or in Twilight. Like, Twilight was fun, and I was also reading books like To Kill a Mockingbird and all these things that were like, or Jane Eyre, that had like a bit more of like elegance or prestige to it, but like, they didn't capture what it was like to be like a teen and kind of like riddled with anxiety and like self-consciousness and like the things that Bella embodies, whether how problematic or not. Like,
right,
that was like a refuge for young girls and young teens and stuff like that.
I'm excited to discuss this more, I think, as we move forward, because I think, especially given the kind of content that we've seen just in the past month, I have a feeling that more of these discussions about Twilight will keep coming out in this year. So it'll be interesting to see who produces that content moving forward.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking about the next generation's Twilight and all of these ideas about vampire content, could you do me a favor and read the first question that we received?
I would love that.
Great.
Love that. First question is, what's your favorite piece of non-Twilight vampire media? And they said theirs at the moment was What We Do in the Shadows, and their past selves would have said True Blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are fantastic jumping off points. Yes. Do you have an initial thought for this?
I would agree with What We Do in the Shadows, which is a great comedy mockumentary movie, I guess, by one of the guys in Flight of the Conchords. And it's so fucking great. It's choice. It's on Amazon Prime. Watch it if you want it.
Perfect.
And then past me would probably say Vampire Academy. Obviously, I've talked about the series on this podcast before, and I thought that was for some reason like a better Twilight. It's just as bad, but I fucking loved it.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
I think I've touched on this before, that I never really had other vampire-esque things in my life. So I don't really have a suggestion for past me. And what I'm going to suggest here for current me is a little embarrassing. Because this is like a guilty pleasure of mine, of shitty romance novels.
Wow, and if you're saying it's a guilty pleasure, it must be very bad.
It's so bad, folks.
Oh, no.
They're so bad. I listen to them primarily because I love the audiobook narrator. But yeah, I mean, like, Twilight is trash, but these are like capital T trash. But I enjoy the Dark Hunter series by Sherilyn
Please
Kenyon.
tell me everything about
I
the
would
Dark
really rather
Hunters.
not.
Oh, Allie, but I feel like we should dive into your favorite guilty pleasure.
Oh, Cody, I would really rather not, because my cheeks are so
I will
hot
look up
and
the
so
synopsis
red.
right now and just make a fucking
No,
guess. So
no.
I'll make it worse.
Nope. Okay, so, so I don't know if you are familiar with who Cassandra Clare is.
Oh, yes, I'm aware.
So Sherilyn Kenyon sued Cassandra Clare for essentially taking all of her ideas.
Wow, damn, that's some actual tea.
But yeah, they're basically these, like, modern day fucking vampires that aren't really vampires. They have, like, super... Please make... I don't want to do this right now.
This seems...
Basically, they're, like, ridiculously gorgeous, apparently, but all of these books were made, like, I don't know, 15 years ago, so they make, like, fucking Nickelback references and shit, because, like...
Yeah, what else were you gonna talk about in fiction back then, you know?
Yeah, it's all really embarrassing and stuff, I don't know.
Listen, I've read some Cassandra Clare books in my day. I'm not proud of that fact.
I've never read Cassandra Clare, so I don't even know what she was referring to. Yeah.
Not great, but it's basically, like, really sexy immortals, I guess. So, you know,
that's
on the same wavelength, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very sexy immortals, apparently.
I mean, in the immortal canon that we've kind of crafted for ourselves in this pop culture landscape that we're now in, like, every immortal is somehow sexy. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what we will be reading moving forward. I mean, Christian Grey is not immortal.
Yeah, what are you trying to suggest here?
I mean, maybe he
Christian
is.
Grey
Like,
is a demon.
I've never read them, so I honestly don't know what E.L. James gets into.
It's obviously not that. No.
Well, maybe, like, 50 Shades Freed with all the guns and stuff. Maybe there is some sort of, like, blood-packed, like, I don't know, immortal shit that happens. I don't know, but maybe that is, like, our shtick that we read as, like, sexy immortals.
No.
That way it doesn't... Well, I wasn't saying that I was proud of it. I'm just saying. Anyway, I would love to get off this topic, because I have never been more embarrassed in my whole life.
I can feel how hot your cheeks are through my headphones.
That's why I don't like that you're my NSA agent. It's like you can see them, and you have, like, a temperature cam on my webcam, and it's a lot. How you're being able to detect that through the Band-Aid on my webcam is embarrassing and confusing.
Yeah, you gotta step up your game. Come on.
I know, I need to figure out what to do. This next submission that we got was very interesting to me, because it was, there's so much to unpack here. All it said was thoughts, comments, and it attached a picture. I attached a picture of a listicle without linking the listicle, which made me do a little bit too much work, but I enjoyed it. It attached to this listicle titled, "Baby Names You'll Probably Regret in 10 Years." And boy howdy.
What a perfect article.
What a list of some strong names here. I don't know if they necessarily put them in order of the way that they should be, but some choice ones. And the reason why this person sent it to us is number 6. Hashtag yawn. This listicle is not boring. It's bringing out such a visceral response to me.
Listen, it's 5:30. It's Alice's bedtime.
That's so real. Like, I already ate dinner. Like, I am ready to go to bed.
Oh my god, who are you?
I meant lunch, but I mean...
Dinner.
You know, they're the same thing. Listen, sometimes...
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen. Sometimes bedtime means before sunset, you know?
God, you were the most unrelatable person I've ever met.
The reason why this person sent us this list was because number 6 on here is Cullen.
You know, everyone's favorite first name.
Yep, and then number 11 on here is Isabella. So, Yikes.
Well, hey.
A few other choice ones on here. 14 is anything that can have Ellie or Addie as a nickname.
Which, I mean...
Wow.
Damn.
So that kind of goes with Addison.
Sure.
Like, what even would be Ellie? Like, Elizabeth? I don't even...
Guess.
What are
Ellie
names?
is so much of just like a name, like by itself.
Right? That's what I'm thinking. It's just like, this is just basically like a fuck you to any Ellie that exists.
Fuck you, Ellie. I'm still chickening to say Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically just like a form spring comment to Ellie. I love the fact that you mentioned earlier about Blaze. Because, like, who names their kid Blaze?
Oh, man. I hope more people now get inspired.
Yes, apparently. I'm very intrigued by the fact that on number 2 on this list is Khaleesi.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Wow.
name. Also from a fictional universe.
Yes. And then number 1 on this list, not surprising to me at all.
No.
Because it's a very white name.
Mm-hmm. Capital W.
Yes, is Bentley. And it has not even a picture of a baby like all the rest of these.
It's just the photo of a Bentley.
It's just an actual photo of a car.
The description for this one is very funny. Because it's like... Also, it's one of those fucking listicles where you have to... Like, it gives you a grid of all of the choices that you... Like, click each individual one. It's like a new webpage, which is like the worst thing that ever happened to the internet.
Yeah, it's really bad.
But, so this one is like, sure, it's trending now, which I don't think is even a little bit true. But at the end of the day, Bentley really only reminds us of the car. And you don't really want to name your kid after a car, even if it's a very expensive car. So, like, I guess, fuck you, Bentley.
Yep. Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the description for the colon one, too. Because, again, not a picture of babies.
No.
A picture of Bella and Edward from Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Sharing a tender moment.
Yeah. A very tender moment. When it says, Cullen skyrocketed in popularity through Twilight Mania, yikes, and now that it's been over a while, it's in 10 years, you'll likely really be over it. And vampires. So, like, you'll really be over your baby when it's 10 years old.
Yeah.
So, great. Also, I love that when I hover over this picture, it's like, hey, are you sure you don't want to put this on Pinterest? Are you sure you don't want to share this photo on Facebook?
It's like the biggest share embed I've ever seen on a website. It's like, hey, especially for Pinterest too, because it's like, nobody embeds a Pinterest.
Right. And like, no, I definitely don't want people
Absolutely
on Facebook, the site that I never go on to know about a random photo from Breaking Dawn Part 1. Thank you so much, though.
So much.
Because why would I ever? Or, yeah, let me just put a random photo on my personal Twitter account of Bella and Edward for no reason.
I do want to scroll down a little bit because there's a whole bunch of, like, suggested articles. And there's one...
Now, please.
There's one row in particular that I found fascinating. The articles go in this specific order. Get festive with these Christmas nail designs, followed by sexual fetishes you might want to try, and then followed by poets and artists to follow on Instagram. So
I have so many questions.
Really a lot of facets, a lot of bases being covered here. Livingly's really doing the goddamn thing.
Wow.
But
thank you so much.
Thank you for this capital C content.
Yes. Speaking of content, would you like to talk about Breaking Dawn with me?
Yeah, boy. We
are so close to the end. It is almost there.
I'm touching it.
Now, please don't touch it, because it might hurt you.
Like, ow.
These are immortals. They might hurt you.
Fucking bit me. Goddamn. Ow.
Bella is a tank, so please lay off.
God, my tank wife.
My final Pam of a wife. She's so strong.
So strong and so powerful.
And her little metal son. I mean, fuck. That reference doesn't even work here. Anyway, okay, so chapter 37, fucking contrivances.
I definitely, my brain was like, definitely the wrong pronunciation.
Welcome to my dark, twisted mind.
Well, no,
today,
stop.
The special is contrivances.
Contravances.
Today on the menu is contraband. Oh, fuck me.
I just get
Hey,
so
listen.
distracted by all the crime and guns and 50 Shades of Grey.
I know. We gotta stop. Okay, so where we left off last week was the Volturi were, like, dancing around, having a little shitstorm, and that's where we've left off. And it's still happening. Wow, hashtag yawn. It's because I'm looking at Edward's name, and I'm just, like, immediately just, like, so exhausted.
I'm just so bored.
It's like two ends of the spectrum, right? It's like being horny and then just like passing out. It's just like, Edward, what have you done to me? You used to be so different with you. Okay, anyway.
It used to be simple, Edward. What happened to us?
Oh, Edward. So anyway, Aro's being a little bit of a shit stain.
Yeah.
And is just like, hey, let's fight this out.
Let's get our fists out.
He's like, oh, I meant work it out. Totally, my bad.
Yeah, of course I want to talk with my words and not my hands. Yes.
Whereas Caius is like ready to throw hands, right? He's so pissed. And so Caius and Aro are just like, can you just give us a moment? And then they just start like you know those people where they're like, oh, we're just gonna step outside for a second and talk. And then they step out like onto like a glass, like out through a glass door into like a patio or something. And then they just start like screaming, arguing at each other. And they pretend like you can't hear them. But you're at like,
how are you doing? Oh my god.
But you're at like a fucking kickback or something, so like everybody can hear you.
There's like 5 other people there.
Yeah. Or they like go into the host's bedroom and they're just like bickering at each other in like a super passive aggressive tone, and everybody in the like main room is pretending not to hear this like huge thing going down. That's Caius and Aro right now.
You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. I thought we were gonna have a good time tonight.
We prepped exactly how this was gonna go. We want them to make sure that we feel intimidated.
God.
Yeah, so anyway, it's not going how they wanted. Caius wants to fight. Aro's like, well, they already called their bluff, so... But then here's the thing. Bella's like looking at everybody, right? And she looks at the witnesses, and the witnesses are like, well, fuck, this isn't going how we planned. During all of that, she's like, well, I guess I better be my tank self and flex my shield. And then cue like 15 pages of Stephanie talking about everybody's aura, but she's not going to call it aura. No. She's going to call it, quote, individual flavor. And it's the grossest thing.
I hate that string of words.
Yes, it's nasty. Especially when she's like, I already knew Edward's. His was the very brightest of them all.
What?
It's so gross.
Yeah, my favorite flavor is bright. Way to go, shithead.
Like, what does that even mean? So, anyway, there's so much of this when she's trying to, like, figure out her shield and, like, morph it and shape it to make sure that everybody's taken care of, right? Which, fine. But also, wow. It's just a lot. During all of this, she's like, oh, yeah, I should probably take care of the werewolves, too. Weird.
Huh.
And that's a weird concept. So, during this, she's, like, testing out the boundaries, and then she realizes that as long as she can keep Sam in her bubble, all of the werewolves are taken care of. And she's like, wow, all of their minds, they're so connected.
How convenient.
Like, I know. Thanks for this amazing loophole, Stephanie. Fantastic that you worked all of this out.
Great.
So then Caius and Aro start looking at the werewolves, right? And they're bickering to each other about this Children of the Moon thing, right? Then Edward, in his lovely, like, passive-aggressive piss baby way, is like, hi, sorry to interrupt, but I need to deconstruct this little myth that you have going on in your head. And he, like, points at Jacob specifically. He's like, these guys, they're not actually werewolves. And Jacob, like, looks over and he's like, the fuck did you just say to me?
This little pound puppy over here? Come on.
This little pound puppy. This little sack of shit. This little fur thing. Yeah, this guy, he's a furry. He's not a werewolf. He's a fake.
I've seen more convincing furries than these guys.
Yeah. But anyway, he deconstructs this, right? Because he's like, it's the middle of the day. These are not Children of the Moon Caius.
God.
So they go through this whole thing, right? That Stephanie should have discussed and brought out in Twilight.
Yeah.
At
the very least, New Moon, we got all that fucking werewolf exposition. Come on.
Yeah. But instead, she saves for like 2 chapters before the
tail end of this fucking book. This whole series. Yeah. It's over.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, in New Moon, she did bring up the fact that one of the elders of the Quileute tribe chose to be a wolf, but it wasn't explicit, right? They've always been like, werewolves, werewolves, we're werewolves, wow.
Yeah. We're not going to use any other word besides werewolves because that's what we are. Except just kidding.
So Edward's like, hate to break it to you, but these are actually shapeshifters, and they could have been anything. They could have been bears or hawks or whatever, but they chose their persona to be wolves. So
stop.
I mean, it's more spiritual than that. It's like a tribe thing, and like it's what they wanted. But like, he's kind of being a little bit of a piss baby about this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's describing their culture,
right,
to these people instead of letting like Sam do it or
Hi,
something.
Yeah, can I culture explain to you for just a second? I just
seriously,
I know how you experience your life and like everything for the past few years of this whole thing, but like, let me tell you how it really goes down.
I know. So it's weird.
Yeah.
Arro's like, cool. Yeah, that totally makes sense. It's like daylight, and he checks his watch, and he's like, confirmed. Not fake news. Caius, on the other hand, is like, Mrr, I don't believe this. You all breed mutants here. Mrr. You Americans are so weird. Which, like, you're not wrong, but still.
Yeah, sure.
We're not, like, lying. So, and they're all about this, like, exposure thing, right? So this is when they bring Irina back up. And things get a little buck wild. Because Irina already confirmed the fact that Renesmee changed. So when Caius is like, I just want to rip shit apart, and he's super pissed about it, Irina apologizes, but then he still kills her?
You know.
Because he's Caius and he's a dick. So that's the thing. And so, like, Irina apologized and stuff. She's like, there was no crime. I'm so sorry. I fucked up. My bad.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I goofed it.
I know. I did a goof. But, like, everything's chill here.
It'll never happen again.
And then Caius, being a dickwad, just, like, pulls out a lighter. And that's the signal for all of us to go off. And they just, like, kill her. In front of her sisters.
Come on.
Anyway, as expected, Kate and fucking Tanya are like, no, and decide to start this whole fight thing, which Bella knew was coming, right? It's like, oh yeah, this is like a ploy for things to start. Tanya loses it and is like, well, that's rude, first of all. That was my sister.
Hey.
But Kate, of course, lovely Kate. I love the sentence where Stephanie writes, quote, Kate was harder to contain, which mood.
Sure.
And so she just starts, like, shocking people to, like, get over to the Volturi side. And is like, nope, get out of my way. Like, I
gotta
need
go.
to get over there.
Gotta blast.
Until finally Zephrina takes her sight away. And Garrett just, like, closes ranks around her and is like, okay, I'm gonna take all the shocks that you need, but you're not gonna go over there. Which is cute, but also, wow. And so during all of this, all the Volturi are just staring, right, to see what they'll do. And it's wild, because it's kind of, I don't know, the way that I saw this in my head, it was very much like, I don't know, condescending in a way of just like, look at what we did, and now we're just going to watch you fall apart on each other.
Bye.
Right, exactly. And then after all of this, Aro still tries to be diplomatic about the whole thing of like, so anyway, can I talk to a few of your witnesses?
It's like, this is no longer like a cool, fair judicial process, dick.
Yeah, you just like killed a man.
Like, I saw that.
Everybody saw that. You just did.
The jury knows.
Exactly. So he goes through and he talks to 3 people on the Cullen side. He talks to a moon, and after that, it's kind of weird because nothing really happens. He just confirms the fact that Amun saw that Nessie got bigger and like grew.
Yeah.
But then he very subtly is like, Cool. So I know that, but, like, should she live? And he's like,
Like, I hear what you're saying. What do you think her fate should be, though, my dude?
Yeah. And I love when that happens because Bella, like, loses it and is like, excuse me?
Sorry.
Which is great. After that, Amun was like, cool. Can I go? And Ara was like, yeah, that's fine. And so him and Kevy just, like, dip. And then next is Siobhan, and the same thing happens. And she's like, duh, this needs to happen, and she's fine, and Nessie will be great. Let's just chill here. And then the same thing happens again, where I was like, yeah. I mean, I get it, but none of you are, like, saying what I want to hear, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's really inconvenient that you aren't backing up my argument here, guys. Come on.
Right, exactly. And so Aro's like, well, here's the thing. She seems great and all, but we need to know with, like, super certainty, like 105% certainty, that if we just let you live and let Nessie live, that she'll keep our secret and that she won't just, like, lose it.
Yeah.
And then he goes on this whole thing about, like, only the known is safe and only the known is tolerable, which, like, yikes. And he does this whole thing about, like, what we don't know is scary. And it's like, ugh, this is creepy. But then after this whole diatribe, Garrett, my love, my precious Garrett, he's like, he just starts, like, screaming at Aro. And he's like, hey, first of all, fuck you. I know some of these people on your side, and you need to chill out, because all of this is super messed up, and I don't like any of it.
It's over.
So, yeah.
Y'all are stupid, and I hate you. These are
He's
my
just like,
friends.
I don't like everything that you have done. And so there's a part where after this whole thing, Garrett just, like, floats in the air and he's just, like, screaming.
Mood.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that was a great speech, my revolutionary friend. And then Garrett gets, like, even more pissed. He's like, revolutionary? Are you my king? Do you wish to call me master? And Arl's like, I just was referring to when you were born, Garrett. Chill. And he's like, okay, fine. But he's, like,
you were
still
literally a revolutionary.
Yeah.
It was like a joke. It was like comedy.
I was just trying to do, like, a riff with you, Garrett, but, like,
it's a thing.
it's fine.
It's a little thing we call in the biz a bit.
But it was good. I loved it. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
I adore Garrett very much. Okay, so again, the brothers try to counsel, right? Because they're still trying to decide whether or not they want to fight. So they say this in, like, a super creepy voice. They're like, let us counsel. And then they get in this weird, freaky triangle thing. And then they just, like, I don't know. If they had blood, they'd, like, draw blood and it'd be, I don't know, they'd start saying, like, demonic tones and shit.
Sure. Yeah.
But instead it's, like, silent and shit. It's just weird. So during this part, this is when Bella starts to say her final goodbyes, right? And it's sad or whatever.
Or whatever. I don't care.
Well, we know it's coming, but Edward doesn't, and that's when it starts to get a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Because she looks over at Renesmee and is like, okay, so goodbye time. And it's weird during this part because Jacob pretends like he doesn't really know what's happening. Like, he sort of knows, but then he, like, I don't know. The way that Stephanie describes him in this scene is very interesting to me. Because he acts, like, super shocked as if he wasn't aware of the plan.
What?
I know. So Bella gives all the instructions and stuff and says her I love yous and her goodbyes. Stephanie's all like, Edward and Jacob's faces were identical masks of horror, despite the fact that one of them was an animal. And I was like, okay.
All right.
Okay. All right, then. But this is when Edward gets shook, right? Because he's like, so this is what you kept from me? You're just gonna let our daughter leave? And Bella's like, well, hey, I wasn't trying to keep this from you. I wasn't lying to you. I was lying to Aro.
Baby.
It's different.
Yeah.
So they do the whole goodbye thing. Jacob is described as having tears the size of baseballs. So that's a really strong mental image.
Now, imagine this.
Please.
I don't
Yep. Describe your whole thought process to me, please.
I wish I could. I wish I had the language to articulate the confusion I feel.
Yeah. It's a lot to process.
Are they
that's
as
for
dense
sure.
as baseballs? Are they hollow? Are they round like baseballs? Or are they just big?
Are you ever so ball is life that you cry literal baseball?
Man, if Jacob started crying fucking basketballs, I would lose my goddamn mind.
I mean, if you don't, you're a fake fan.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's when ball is officially your life. That's it.
That's true. Oh my god. Someone please draw that for me, please. This is like a super emotional, intense scene, and Jacob is just literally sobbing baseballs and like basketballs from his eyes. That's all I want. So anyway,
It was really hard to take Jacob to a funeral because he's just the way he cries. It's really it's very genuine for him, but it comes off as very insensitive. So we just couldn't invite him anymore.
We always say about Jacob, he's got a real presence. He always fills up a room,
Oh my god.
Don't get him started when he laughs.
Whenever you need a ball pit, he could just do it. He could just make one happen with his tears. That's a fucking superpower, if I ever seen one.
Maybe he does have a use after all. Oh, the gross thing about that superpower, though, is they could be like, you know what we say about Jacob? He's got a lot of balls.
Yeah, well.
Wow, that joke really didn't land. Can I try it again?
Yeah, let's workshop this. How do
you think I could do better?
Can you give me some constructive criticism, please? I really appreciate your feedback.
I just really want to do better, Cody. One of my goals is to start doing stand-up in 20... No, but can you fucking imagine? That was my worst nightmare.
That's my lead-in. So I get them all hooked.
Hi, guys. So I do this podcast where I talk about Jacob Black and his balls when he cries. Now, I know you have a lot of questions. I'm not going to answer any of them.
All right, guys. It's been nice seeing you. That's my time.
Oh, my God. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, during this part, Edward does this really weird thing where he's like, goodbye, Jacob, my brother. And then there's like 3 ellipses, so he waits like 5 minutes. And then it's like, my son. During all this, Seth like screams from the background. Yeah. He's like, what do you mean?
Stop. That's
what
my
about
dad.
Me?
It's my best friend.
What about trust? He starts his own fight.
Just punching the air. He's just like, yeah.
He like, I don't know, kicks Paul or something, just like so pissed.
Just to feel something.
Just to feel. Yeah, he just snaps a tree in half. Okay, anyway. Bella's like, because Carlisle's like, so there's no hope then? So no head? Bella's like, well, y'all might be good, but Edward and I are definitely dying, so...
So bye!
So during all this, there's lots of like kissing and crying and love yous and goodbyes from everybody. It's nasty. It's honestly like not safe for work. There's people like literally fucking on the ice, like it's gross. I don't know if you've watched that part of the Olympics, but like it's wild. And anyway, so the chapter ends with Bella being like, it's starting. It's like, who the fuck are you, Bella? Yeah. Like, you're the youngest here. Why do you get to call this?
Stop.
Yes. So, anyway, chapter 38 starts, and everybody is trying to attack Bella's shield, which is great.
Sure.
So, she's just my powerful...
But she's just way too strong. She's too strong.
She's too strong.
And powerful and thick with 2 C's. But, like, muscle
Seriously.
thick.
Yeah. Because Chelsea is there, and she's trying to break up the shield, and then Jane is there and she's trying to break up the shield, and nothing's working. And so Bella just like looks Jane straight in the eyes and just like smiles at her, and it pisses Jane off, which is like chef's kiss. So good. I love that. So eventually Jane starts like directing the attacks straight at Bella, and it doesn't work, and so Jane just starts like screaming, which is very good.
Yeah,
I love that a lot.
Love it.
Then Alec starts trying. His doesn't work. Benjamin on the Cullen side is like, let's add some more stuff to the mix because Aro and Caius and Marcus are still like huddled together deliberating and stuff. So Benjamin just like creates this fissure in the earth between the two sides and just like cracks the earth in half, which is very cool.
Yeah.
Then the weirdest thing happens. So when Alec's power hits Bella's shield, she starts describing the taste of it, which is weird and gross. But anyway, Stephanie, thank you for activating all of those senses, I guess. But then they start dividing up who's going to attack who in the Volturi clan, right? So everybody's like, oh, I want Jane and Alec, and oh, I want Caius, and but everything stops, right? Because Aro's like, so let's just keep talking. But my favorite thing about this is Bella's pissed, right? Because now she's in the mode, like she's in the zone, and she wants to fight.
Yeah.
And so the fact that people are talking is like disrespectful to her.
Like, excuse me. I'm trying to do my thing right now.
Yep, I am focused, and you are taking away my vibe right now. But then Aro decides that he's going to do one last plea for all of the cool-powered people to join his side, which is gross and weird. But then once that doesn't work, because why would it, they all decide to vote, right? And it ends up being split, obviously, because Caius wants to fight today.
And Stephanie lives for drama.
And Stephanie lives for drama, yes, of course. But Marcus, of course, doesn't want to be there. And so he's like, no, I don't want to fight. Can we just get back to my home? Like, I have stuff queued up on my DVR. I don't want to be here right now.
I have so many things I could be doing.
Yeah, exactly. So Aro, in a shocking turn of events to absolutely no one, has to be the deciding vote here. And then when Aro's about to do that, Edward screams out into the air with joy and with jubilation. And Bella just like glares at him. It's like, excuse me, I'm in the zone right now. Can you not?
Hi, yeah, I'm trying to fucking save all of our asses right now, so...
Why are you so excited to die?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's in character for you, Edward, but also, stop.
I know you're fucking morbid as shit, but like, can we just do this like adults, please?
Seriously. So then, all of a sudden, Edward starts asking a lot of clarifying questions to Aro. Like, so, Aro, you really wanted to make sure that Renesmee was going to be safe, right? And not expose the secret, and that's the only thing you cared about. If we could just do that, we would avoid this fight, right? And go back to being friends. And during every single one of these clarification questions, Aro's like, yes, 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 yes. What do you want? Why are you saying all this stuff?
Stop with the exposition, goddammit.
I know.
Tell me what you want.
But Aro's like, well, yes, of course, that would be fine, but there's no way to prove it, 'cause she's one of a kind.
Wow, bars.
And thank you. I'm a lyrical genius. Hi, that's also part of my stand-up routine.
Oh my gosh.
It just turns into a spoken word section.
Love that.
But, so Edward is like, great. So she's totally rare, right? My daughter's great. But she's not one of a kind. And then Edward is like, allow me to introduce. And then he like becomes Vanna White.
Example A.
Example A. Alice, can you come out here for a second?
Oh,
and people are like, Alice? Alice? And then it literally lays like a page of people just like screaming Alice's name.
Right.
It's so much.
It was like gasping and turning their heads.
Literally.
You're like, what?
And then frickin' Alice and Jasper and 3 other folks just come waltzing into the clearing like it's no big deal.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here.
They
Y'all
are there.
thought we were gonna end this?
You thought.
Your faves back? Nah.
Yep. So they're all here, and so
They're all queer.
I mean,
in my fantasies.
So the cool thing about this is they're all vampires, right? Except
yes.
One of them, as we will find out, has a heartbeat.
Interesting.
Weird.
I'm sure
Weird.
that won't matter.
No, that's weird. And so Alice introduces everybody. Caius is pissed because he's like, rude.
Also, way to steal my thunder. Like, I know.
And so Alice, like, introduces all the strangers that are there. Bella's, like, swooning, right? Because she's like, it literally says, like, hearing her voice. It was like she never left. It's like, oh my God, okay. Like, we get it. So we find out that, and, like, we hear this story, right, from Hulen and her nephew. I think it's Nahul. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
I think so.
I listened to the audiobook and I have no idea.
Yeah, I listened to it this week too, and it was like, meh. But we find out, like, because Alice and Jasper, like, went through the Amazon, and, like, the South America and stuff too, to try and find some of these witnesses, and that's why, like, one of the other folks they haven't introduced yet is fucking, oh my God, the Amazon sister. I can't remember their names right now.
Oh, yeah.
It's blinking on me. But anyway, so they tell this whole story. Basically what it comes out to is Nahul's father has been turning people and creating immortal children just for, like, the funsies of it.
Whatever.
Yeah, and his mom died in childbirth, but he's fine, and now he's being raised by his aunt, and because he changed her. Cool. So Aro's like, so you're 150? And he's like, yeah, I mean, whatever. Like, it's just a number, baby.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, baby.
Exactly. And so they find out that he reached maturity at 7 years old. Which, like, dude, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Could you imagine, like, the most mature you're ever gonna get is when you're 7? That's...
Nah,
actually, I'm good.
Like 7 years old. So 2nd grade, when you're still, like, learning simple math. You're like, all right, time to be an adult now.
Anyway, time to go to my job, I guess.
I know. Time to get that good pension.
Full circle.
So we find out about Nahul's diet. It's like blood or food, whatever. He's like, I can survive on either, baby. Like, it's all good.
I like this fiction that we've created where he just says, like, ends every sentence with baby. He's like winking at everyone and like doing finger guns.
Everything's chill for him. It's all good.
Yeah.
So he's super chill and everything's fine. But what ends up happening, right, is he is, like, convincing the Volturi to not go after the Cullens, but instead go after his dad. Because his dad's the real problem here, right?
Hey.
Of just being like, I want to create my own little army of immortal children here. He even says, like, that his dad thinks he's creating a new super race of people.
It got real bad real quick, y'all.
Yeah, it was like, oh, hi, let's just randomly talk about eugenics here without...
That's what I wanted in my young adult fiction, like, for sure.
Well, it's like, Stephanie, you're just gonna, like, bring this up, but then not weave it through your entire narrative here? Like, You've been talking about immortal children this whole time, but you're not gonna even have that discussion?
Yeah. But I'll just bring it up once so you know that I thought about it.
Right, exactly.
And I'm hashtag woke and I think about these things.
Literally.
And how they relate in the greater landscape of my fiction. But will I address it? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Nope. I just wanted to make sure that I knew that word. So check that off your vocab list.
Yeah, hey.
That's literally this whole series. It's just like her making sure that we knew she knew, but nothing else. Like, it's very surface level.
Wow, I can't believe we finally got to the crux of this whole thing, huh?
We fucking cracked Stephanie Meyer.
She's quaking in her boots.
My favorite thing is when Aro's like, these half vampire children are much like us, it appears. And it's like, are you Yoda? What the fuck? Like, you've been a vampire this Italian vampire this whole time, and now you're gonna change your cadence? Like, shut up. Anyway, so they decide, like, oh, no, we're not gonna fight today. Everything's great. So they get ready to leave and stuff, and so everything's great. And then it gets quiet, right? And Bella's like, I'm not gonna drop my shield. And then it's still quiet. She's like, I'm still not gonna drop my shield. Like, fuck everybody.
Yeah. Never.
And she's like, is it over? And I love Edward here because he's like, yes, they've given up like all bullies. They're cowards underneath the swagger. And it's like, Edward, when would you ever say that?
Yeah,
Stop.
no.
But anyway, so the fight is over and they start like cheering and screaming and kissing each other and it's all jubilant and Nessie didn't have to leave and she's like, I get to stay with you. You're not going to abandon me. And Bella kind of finally figured out like, she's gonna be alive for always, which is cool.
Yeah, that's pretty tight.
And they say forever like 15 times to each other, which is gross.
Yeah.
And it ends in a kind of, at least this chapter, because we still have more to go, but this chapter ends in a very jubilant kind of way.
Yeah.
Which
Things
was
will
nice.
open up, I think.
Yeah. For now.
We have one chapter left and like everyone dies. It's like horrible.
It all goes to shit.
Wow, what a dark turn.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past
No,
Stephanie,
of
you know
course
what I mean? I mean, maybe there's dick guns, you know?
Maybe.
I won't tell you.
That's fair. I respect you keeping that from me. I want to experience it firsthand.
Like the final spoiler. Dick guns.
Wow.
Oh my god.
We did
So
it.
next week is chapter 39, the last chapter of breaking, like the last chapter
Ever.
of the official
Done.
canon. And we'll do our wrap up
Yay.
then, which is wild.
Ow.
So that's good stuff. We got some awesome screenshots
Hell yeah.
this week in our email from a lovely person named Abby.
Thank you.
So that was really kind. I wanted to mention this too because Abby sent this to their friend named Hannah and they mentioned that our podcast was, quote, a hilarious, informative, and a wild ride.
Wow.
Which, thank you so much for that.
I think that's how we're going to pitch it now, forever.
Yes. And then I just wanted to mention briefly Hannah's response to this because it was super cute. They responded being like, oh my god, I Googled it. And the first two podcasts that Hannah saw were the bisexual pudding and the dick guns. And honestly, that's fair.
That's very representative of our brand and this podcast. So
They seem to love it. So, you know, that's fine.
I'm not
anyway,
going to try to
thank
hide
you.
what we are to new listeners, you know what I mean?
No.
Just going to leave it all out there.
Abby, I low-key thought that your email was a spam email.
Me too. Okay, I got it today. I was like, I think I'm getting fucking fished right now. I think this is gonna be fish.
Just because there was nothing in the actual content. It was just the images. And I was like, okay, cool. So if I open this, am I gonna die? But we didn't die. It was just very sweet.
Yes.
We did get 2 reviews
Ooh.
on iTunes, so thank you for that. Would you like to read the author of the first one?
Oh boy. Let's see if I can.
They're both a lot.
Yeah.
This week.
There's so many ways you could really go with this, huh?
I know.
Because my first inclination was to do like the Phenomena. Because it's.
I just cracked my skull. I just slapped so hard I just hit my head.
Because it's like, haha, my mama? But my brain immediately was like, this is a Muppets thing. This is it now.
It is.
So,
yeah.
But hey.
That's great. Yes, so that one's awesome. Thank you. The next one that we got is from JJJ0105.
Nice.
Which I feel like I just read someone's bank account password out loud.
I think I just doxed this person.
So if I did,
Ooh,
I didn't, but if I did, I'm sorry. My favorite thing about that though is that the last bit of their review is in all hashtags, like separate hashtags, where it says get bit ed weird, which is very good to me.
Yeah, that's how we should do our tweets from now on.
Yeah, I love that a lot. We do have some fantastic patrons that I want to shout out. And I thought, so I have that Livingly post up, and I thought that we could use those suggested articles today to put on their names. So the first one that I have for our patrons today is Rachel Black. And
Rachel Black.
for you, thank you so much, Rachel. I am going to make your article be the top dog names of the year.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Thank you, Jessica Stanley, for being a patron. Your article is going to be where you should travel in 2018, according to your zodiac sign.
Oh my god, great. And then lastly, thank you so much, Katie Weber, for being a fantastic patron. Your article is the most Instagrammable restaurants in the U.S. Nice. That's very good.
Sick, dude.
You are on your grind.
The grind don't stop.
Yes. Last week, I started with some of the fantastic fan fictions that Taylor Brown emailed us. And I have another one of those that Taylor Brown sent us.
Thank you, Taylor.
So thank you so much, Taylor. This one is titled Taking Chances. And it is so much. It was written by Muggle in Love.
Okay.
And the synopsis is Bella is a medical student at Stanford who is instantly attracted to her professor, Carlisle Cullen.
What?
Carlisle lives his life from day to day
I quit.
without really experiencing it. He is consumed by work and his love for his dead wife, Esme. Can the two work out?
Nope. I hate this. I hate all of this.
It was published on February 11th of 2009. And it's from Chapter 2. The disclaimer that was posted on this is, I do not own Twilight or its characters. I am making no money, ... Honestly, fucking same. I mean, it's not true, but same.
It's true in my heart.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
fucking buckle in, Cody, because it's going to get lots. It's just, I don't know what lots of, but it's going to get lots.
Of it.
All right. Dr. Cullen arrived just before class, smiling at us. He seemed to have gotten even better looking during the last day. He was not wearing a suit, but looked much more laid back in a light blue dress shirt with rolled up sleeves and khaki pants. How was I going to be able to concentrate when I had the man of my dreams standing right in front of me? Good morning, class, he greeted, flashing his brilliant smile. Welcome to Human Anatomy. 1. I trust that you have all reviewed the syllabus and have completed the assigned readings. I found myself fidgeting in my seat as he spoke. I couldn't sit still, let alone concentrate. I was entranced by the power of his voice and command he presented. I felt a rush of desire go through my veins. I wanted Dr. Cullen, and I wanted him bad. What the hell was wrong with me? I bit my lip at the top of my pen, trying to control my urges, but nothing worked. It even seemed as if he was staring at my legs. But he wouldn't. I mean, he was a professor. He would never have eyes for a student. Plus, a man that gorgeous had to be taken? Oh, there wasn't a question mark there. That was a self-answer, sorry. I had to concentrate on Human Anatomy. Well, I did want to concentrate on his anatomy. His wide, muscular chest and strong arms. Stop it. I wouldn't let my mind go there. And scene.
That was the worst thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
Hey,
also,
Charlotte, stop it.
Yeah, hey, Charlotte, you need to shut this shit down.
I don't even know that that's the author's name. I'm just making up a name.
But you know, as we say in Forbes, who's bad?
I was trying to be good.
Yeah, no.
Oh, God. Well.
Anyway, get bit.
This is an Earbud Media production. You can follow the network on Twitter at Earbud Media. You can also follow this show at Into the Twilight almost everywhere, or check out our Tumblr at intothetwilight.show. Our wonderful artwork is done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44 on Instagram. Our music is done by Eli Krause, who you can find at KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro was done by KB__Smith on Twitter. You can follow Allie at Into Wild Places, and you can follow me at Dyke Discourse. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye!
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, what's up, John?
I just wanted to confirm that we were recording Monday.
Yes.
What are we recording for?
Oh, it's our new podcast.
Our podcast, the Strange Little People one,
Strange
right?
Little People, yeah.
Yeah, the one on Earbud Media Productions.
Mm-hmm. You can find it on YouTube. You can listen to it.
The one that we update every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, dude.
When we have new guests all the time.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Yeah, and we talk about current events and stuff.
People should listen to it, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's something cool.
I think people would like it. I mean, you don't have to, but I hope you would.
Did you put out the ad yet? The flyers?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, as we speak.
No, you're sitting down. You're not...
No, this is happening right now, as we speak.
John, why did my hand just go through you?
Oh my god.
John.
We'll talk about it next week.